The official title of this presentation a while ago was How to Build a Marketing System to Generate Leads on Autopilot, but I thought that was not totally accurate. So what I'm really going to talk about is how to use advanced, and I mean that, advanced marketing automation to build a better business. Most funnels that you see out there, they're linear. The person will get in one door and will come out at the other door. Everybody goes through the same line. That funnel is dead. It doesn't work anymore. It needs to be multi-dimensional. So what I'm going to talk about first is what do you need to know before automating your marketing system if you have one. If you don't, you need one. How to create systems that generate revenue without your involvement. And that is possible, and it's not a gimmick. The key concepts you must copy from billionaires so you can have a better result of your marketing system. And how to compound the impact of every single lead that comes into your business. Now, there are people from all different levels as far as marketing is concerned, different businesses. So I'm going to go from the basics, and I'm going to go all the way to the most advanced concepts that we have right now in marketing automation. Okay? I am not going to cover how to properly generate qualified leads. I covered that last year. How many of you were here in my talk last year? All right, so there was someone who sent me an email, said, thank you for the talk. I actually started a business based on that. Are you here? Okay, I tried to track him down, and I accidentally deleted the email. But if you want to learn how to generate qualified leads, first thing, I suggest you come to the event in October. I'm going to be presenting there. Or if you can't, go to SproutPoint.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page. There's a free workshop. You don't pay anything. You just receive the link on your email. I'm not going to bother you. Or you go to the free resources tab. There's a lot of free stuff there that's going to help you. Okay? And here is my Facebook account screenshot that I ran a test. That's important to mention. It's a test that I ran last year, actually in the past in the past 12 months that I ended last month, and I spent $3,306.28 in advertisement. Why am I showing you that? Because I am not a theorist. I'm going to show you exactly what I am doing. Okay? So let's dive in. I have a lot to cover. Marketing automation. When I talk to people that I do marketing automation, it's not the only thing that I do. No, I'm a marketing strategist, a copywriter. I build the whole system from start to finish, but then we have to obviously talk about marketing automation. And then this is what I get. People look at me as if I'm either a minion or if they will behave like a minion. And the reason is pretty clear, because you have 50,000 options out there. Everybody claims that they're better than the other. And it's very confusing, it's very hard to decide which one is going to be the right one for each business, okay? But that's going to end today, because I'm going to give you kind of a path that you're going to be able to choose whatever it is that you need so you can make your business really skyrocket. So what is marketing automation? If we go to Wikipedia, it's a very complex definition. It refers to software platforms and technologies designed to more effectively market on multiple channels online, such as email, social media, websites, etc., and automate repetitive tasks. That is pretty vague, right? Difficult to understand, is a mouthful. I think is wrong, because marketing automation is not only for online marketing, and I'm going to show you why. So I'm a simple guy and like simple terms. So for me, marketing automation is the use of a software to eliminate manual or grunt labor and systematize your leads and your sales and marketing process as much as possible so you get the most out of your marketing system. But it's still a little bit vague because it doesn't fully define it. So what marketing automation is not is also important for us to know. The first thing is that marketing automation is not the same thing as email marketing. Email marketing should be an integral part of marketing automation, but it's not exactly the same thing. Because if you have a customer that is better reached by direct mail or by a regular sales pipeline or a phone call, you can still automate that. And you not necessarily will need your email. The other thing is marketing automation is not CRM. CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management, also called autoresponders, right? You send an email, the person responds, something automatically happens. Those are the linear funnels that we used to hear about and started maybe 5-10 years ago. CRM is nothing else but a digital Rolodex, where you're going to have a list of your prospects or your customers. You're going to use that to reach out to them. The next thing is that marketing automation is not set it and forget it. I wish it was the case, like Arlen was mentioning about his website. Things unfortunately will break. It's technology. Sometimes will break on the technical side, sometimes will break on the tactical side. What do I mean by that? Your email needs to be tweaked. You wrote a copy of the email, the text, and the opening rate is not as good. So we need to tweak that. Or you tested your campaign and the results are not as you like it to be, or there's something that can be optimized and you're going to compare that to a control. So it's not set it and forget it. Like the lawn in your house that needs to be mowed and weeded is the same thing with marketing automation. But the good thing is that it will allow you to make it kind of bring you closer to your prospect or your customer, which comes to the next point, which is that marketing automation is not cold and impersonal. Why? Because the technology available nowadays can really help you personalize every single customer interaction, and that is very important, every single one of them, to the point that you can direct each one of them in a certain path, in a concept that is extremely revolutionary, and that is called dynamic behavior response marketing. And I'm going to dive into that in a few minutes. So in a nutshell, marketing automation software is nothing else but a tool. And like any tool, is dependent on what the tool was made for and who is using the tool. Okay? So it's very important that before you select an marketing automation software or any kind of marketing automation system or whatever it is that you're going to do in marketing, that you must have a well thought out strategy blueprinted for you. Why is that? Because marketing automation of any sort is under the realm of tactical marketing. Okay? There are two types of marketing. There is strategic marketing and there is tactical marketing. What's the difference? Strategic marketing is what you say, who you say it to, how you say it, and how you deliver it conceptually. That is the strategic part of your marketing. In a nutshell, it is the blueprint of your backbone of your marketing system. What is tactical marketing? Tactical marketing is everything else. It is the execution of your strategy. It is the creation of your website. It's your Facebook ads, your print advertisement, your videos, the radio spot, the brochure, the Google ads, you name it. That's tactic. But you're going to use that to bring the right message to the right market. And for those of you who participated in the previous presentation last year, it forms the three elements of the marketing triangle. What is the third one? It's the media. The media is the vehicle that makes everything possible. So all this fuzz about Facebook and video and this and that, they are very important. They're crucial, but they are just a vehicle. A video is no different than a direct mail piece. You need to know, does it match your message to your market? If not, you have no business using that vehicle. Okay? So today I'm going to talk much more about tactics because it's automation versus a strategy. Strategy, you go to watch a website or come to the next event. Tactics, I'm going to dive on it today. But before I go there are two strategic concepts that I want you guys to think about. The first one is that for your marketing to work well, you need to think like a billionaire, not a marketer. What do I mean by that? You need to use leverage. You need to leverage your assets. So let's use our poster child of a billionaire is Warren Buffett, right? There's a lot of people here in the financial markets. So what's Warren Buffett's story? They get 20%, he gets a 20% average ROI per year. That means that he puts $1 in and he gets $1.20 out of the market, okay? What is he doing? He's leveraging financial assets. And one of his most powerful tools is, and no secret, right? He's not the only one who uses that, is compound interest. In marketing, we have assets. We don't think it that way, but we do have, and we have many of them. And those are the ones that we should leverage. What are they? Number one, your products or your services. They're probably your number one asset. Then you have your ads, your Facebook ads, your Google ads, your direct mail piece, your radio, your TV spot, whatever that is. Why is that an asset? Because once it works, you can use it over and over and over again. There is such a thing as ad fatigue, but most of the time, that is an asset that you can just wash, rinse, and repeat. Okay? Another marketing asset is the list that gets generated by your marketing system. Right? If you don't have a way of collecting the information of your prospects or of your clients, then you're in trouble. You need to really work on that, because that is one very important asset. There is an old saying that says the money is in the list. What does that mean? Okay, you need a cash insert. You need to sell something else, whatever it is. You just blast it to your list, and then you just wait for the results to come in. The next one is the marketing system created behind all of this to make everything work. Now, the big question is, can marketing do as good? At the very beginning, I mentioned to you that I put $3,306 into Facebook, right? Would you guys be curious to hear what happened to that? Okay, I'm going to present it to that, but this is very serious what I'm going to say. I was a little uncomfortable bringing that up. The reason for that is because, you know, I'm going to be showing you numbers, but I need to show you my stuff. And if I don't show you that, the proof is in the pudding, then it's very hard for me. This becomes just a bunch of fluff. Okay? So you need to understand that what I'm going to show you is what I did was a test that I ran for a year to make sure that my strategy was solid. Okay? I'm not promising you guys, for the attorneys in the room, I'm not promising you guys anything. There's another point. I'm a marketer, right? And when I was about to deploy this and spend that money, I was almost pooping in my pants. You know, there is all the churn and all that fear. What's going to happen? Am I going to lose money? Am I going to look like a fool? And all the concerns that we all have when we're about to launch something. But here's what happened. So these are the same account, $3,306.28, okay? From July 2015 to August 2016, okay? And here's what happened. This is the screenshot of my sales report from automation software. I got that $3,000 and I transformed it into $99.71.50. I know it's an unbelievable claim coming from a marketer. I get it, okay? But I needed to show this to you guys so you see that it works, okay? Now, so that is one strategy. How did it happen? Did I start it that way? No, I started leveraging my assets, okay? I have products that I've been selling that I created 3 years ago. It's the same marketing campaign. I just did something very cool that I'm going to show you exactly how you guys can do it. So let's go to the second strategic concept. Leverage human nature. And that is really tough, right? Because we want people to behave in a certain way, not the way that they really want to behave. So, there's a very important concept called the buying spectrum, which is the process that every single customer, client, or patient goes through in the process of acquiring your product or buying your service, or whatever it is. So I'm going to go quick through this. What is the buying spectrum? How does that work? The person gets the idea to buy your product or your services. Maybe it's an idea because saw a video on YouTube. Maybe someone told them about it. the person may be interested or not. Maybe there is a problem that needs to be solved. Arlen needs someone to solve his website. Damn, I need to find someone. Okay? So start gathering information casually. That person's going to go online, talk to friends, whatever. Yeah, I'm thinking about this. What do you think? No big deal. Just gathering information. Then start asking for references or recommendation from a few friends. Once that person decides, yeah, I need to look deeper into this, then that person's going to start a heavy-duty fact search, really getting the pros and the cons, getting more serious. I'm about to make a decision here, or at least thinking about that. Then that person is going to narrow down on a few favorites. Right? That's when the person probably is going to call, schedule that free consultation, come into the office to talk, get the free sample, whatever it is, right? Because it's now time to narrow down on the favorites. Then the person will decide, yes, I'm really going to buy it. And then once that decision is made, that person say, you know what? But maybe it's not the right time. We all wait for the right time, right? We want the perfect time, but there is no perfect time for almost anything in life. Time goes by, and the person eventually will buy it. So that's the process that we all go through it. Doesn't matter if you're buying a $15 million jet, or if you are going to the doctor. It's the same process. What's the problem with the buying spectrum? Or how is the buying spectrum translated into marketing? The problem is that the people who are ready to buy, who are on the very far right side of the buying spectrum, correspond to only 3% of the market. So you have 97% of people who may potentially be interested, who are sitting on the fence, but who are not being approached. So the problem then is that 3%, that's all everybody in marketing are focusing on, but they are forgetting the 97% that is where the money is. That's where, with the follow-up. So I mentioned about accepting human nature, right? What it has to do with us accepting human nature. Like the Navy SEALs will say, you have to embrace the suck. Because there are things that people are going to do in your marketing campaign, they will really suck. And you're going to feel bad about it in a way that, okay, am I a failure? This thing is not working. What the hell is going on? I wasted my money. I wasted my time. Why? Because most people who see your offer will not buy. Most people who get your email will not click. They are not going to even open it, only to mention clicking on it, or whatever it is that you have in there. Most people who opt in for your free report, your watch my video, go to my workshop, whatever, come to the event, they will not consume what they just opted in for. And there's more. They are not going to consume it, and then you're going to send them what they asked for. They're going to click on it. They're going to click on the unsubscribe button, and then they're going to even report you as spammer. And that's what people do. It's unbelievable, but that's what exactly they do. And most people who register for a webinar, event, or free consultation will not show up. And for those who show up, they are not going to buy. Most of them will not buy. Why? Because they're weirdos? I'm a weirdo. I don't think they are, okay? No, they're all normal people. By the way, the definition of weirdo is someone who is not just like us, right? So, but they are all normal people. That's why you need a plan B. You need contingencies. So you don't put everybody in the single line of the quote-unquote funnels. So what if you create a system to address the situations? Do you think you'll be light years ahead? I can guarantee your competition is not doing that. The question is, how do you do that? And the answer is marketing automation. And I mentioned to you guys a few minutes ago a concept called dynamic behavior response, or DBR. And that is extremely, extremely powerful. What does that mean? Dynamic behavior response means that your leads are treated based on their behavior. Remember the bifurcation on the road that I showed you the picture? Right? I said every single one of them will be treated differently. And this is actually pretty cool. What does that mean? So someone clicked on your ad, requested your ebook, but doesn't read it. You need to automate the next steps. You need a contingency. They opened your video but did not finish watching it. Automate the next steps. They registered for the webinar, but they did not show up. Most won't. You just automate the next steps. You know who is on the edge of buying. It's just like towards the right side of the buying spectrum, but really not there. Automate that. That's a great group of people, right? They're just on the edge. Sometimes people just need a little, all they need is a little nudge so you can help them, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly how this is going to look like, how you can implement that. How many of you guys use webinars, teleconference presentations in your business? All right, so almost every, almost everybody in the room. So I hope you like this. Here we go. This is my webinar conversion machine, fully automated. Everything else, someone's going to come to a webinar or any kind of event, they need an invitation, right? Keep an eye on the screen because this is, I'll try to move as slow as possible. We still have some time, so I want you guys to really get this. So you're going to send them either an email if they are on your list, maybe a direct mail piece, whatever that is, or if they're not on your list and you're generating leads, you're going to use your Facebook, you're going to use YouTube. Neil's here to help you with the videos, or you're going to use Google AdWords, whatever that is, okay? You can use direct mail, it doesn't matter. Everything's going to convert to one place, and that place is opt-in form, right? If you guys remember my talk, I used the formula, capture, connect, educate, and offer. Everything goes through the same portal. The portal is the opt-in form. So they enter their name, email, and they register for it. You're going to use a hot button loaded headline, okay? Something that will really capture the attention of that reader. The big question is, did they register or not, right? They went to that page. Does it mean that they register? Remember the contingencies? Here we go. That's contingency number one. So you need to find out. If they did not register, then you're going to send them to a next campaign. If you really sent them a campaign, not a one-off email, not a one-off direct mail piece, not a one single YouTube video, right? You send them through, you put them through a campaign, and they didn't register, you send them elsewhere. There is no point, screaming louder or being more obnoxious. You're not going to sell it. Remember, most people are not going to click, not going to watch, not going to buy it. Okay, what if they do? Great. They registered. Did they show up? If you do a webinar or a presentation, you will know that the average show-up rate, at best, is 25 to 30%. 60 to 65% of people are not going to show up. Does it mean that they're bad? No, they're busy. They have kids. They have work. There's distractions on the internet. There's a bunch of things. So you need to help them showing up to the event. So you're going to put them into what's called an indoctrination sequence. So you're going to resell them. It could be one video, two videos, three videos, could be emails, whatever it is. You're going to resell them on your event. Hey, Mary, thank you very much for registering for the webinar on marketing automation. The event is going to happen on day X, and here's what you're going to learn, A, B, C, and D. If your business is struggling to get more leads, or you want to automate your marketing system, or you're just sick and tired of dealing with a bunch of softwares and everybody promising you a bunch of things, come to the webinar. I'm going to give you templates and this and that. I'm sure you're going to love it. Boom, done, right? Now you see there are 3 videos. And am I going to send them all 3 videos saying the same thing? No. Dynamic behavior response. Once they clicked on the first video, and I know they watched it because I'm going to be able to track it, they get kicked out of that campaign. If they don't open the first email, they get the second email or the second video and so forth and so on. Why? Is that rude? No. They opted in for the thing. They asked for it, so it's my obligation to help them understand where they're going to get. Okay, then what happens? Did they show up or they did not show up? Now things get really interesting. If they don't show up, you can re-invite them. Are you going to send a replay of the same webinar that they didn't show up for? No. Why? Because you're just going to, number one, you're going to just be training them to behave in that way. I won't show up next time because they're just going to send me the replay. And when you send the replay, do you think they're going to take the time to sit down and watch it? No, they're not. Okay, so you can re-invite them at least once. Okay, you re-invite them. Did they register? If they didn't register, stop insisting. Dynamic behavior response. Send them elsewhere. Next campaign. That's not working. Now, did they register? Same question again. Did they show up? If they didn't show up, it's the same behavior. Don't keep insisting. Send them to the next campaign. Now they showed up. That's what you want, right? Great. Hey, I have 250 people signed up for my webinar. Maybe you're going to have 50 people there. That's fine. Don't get disappointed. What happened next? You want them, probably going to have a pitch, either if it is an appointment or is a product, it is a service, I don't know, but you're going to offer something. Did they see that offer? If they did see the offer, did they buy? If they bought, great, you're done, right? You should put them into a welcoming campaign or something of that sort that is going to obviously feel them valued as a customer. It's the onboarding process of your business. I don't know what that is. But what if they did not buy? Did they not buy because they don't like you? Probably. They don't like what you have to offer. Also possible. Or they are just in the buying spectrum and they're still not sure and they're just moving to the right. I would say most likely they're moving to the right. They have questions. In marketing and sales, we call them objections. So you're going to put them into an objection handling sequence. In an objection handling sequence, you're going to pretty much address their objections. You send an email saying, hey, thank you very much for showing up for the webinar. I have a lot of people asking some questions. They are wondering about X, which you know is an objection, right? Boom. You just handle that objection. And at the end, it's just information. You're not forcing any sales. And then at the end, you're going to say, hey, if you like what you just heard, just click on the button below, call, whatever the call to action is, so you can handle that. Now, what happened after that? Did they buy? Maybe yes, maybe not. If they bought, again, inbound campaign. If they did not buy, game is not over. You can put them into a timer sequence. That means they may still be sitting on the fence. This timer sequence is timed because you give them real, true time to make a decision. People, if you give them all the time in the world, it will take them all the time in the world to make that decision. So you put them into a real-time sequence that after a certain period of time, that link will expire, the offer will go away, whatever that is. Scarcity is a very powerful tool. Did they buy? If they didn't buy, I think we exhausted that, right? We put them throughout the whole spectrum. We offered everything that we could. Put them into a next campaign. If they did buy, great, right? There's one piece that I haven't talked about. People who attended the webinar but did not see the offer. The phone rang. They went onto Facebook, all right? The kid walked in the office, or whatever it is. They got distracted. They had to go. What are you going to do then? Put them into another timer sequence. Hey, which I can tell exactly who stayed, who didn't, who saw the offer, who didn't. Thank you very much for showing up for the webinar. I hope you have enjoyed what you've learned, but you missed the best part. I saw that you had to leave early, and I know life gets in the way. But here's what I had to offer you. Bam. Same thing, put it into a timer, so they don't have the whole time in the world to make a decision. Go to decision diamond there. Did they buy? Yes. Did they not buy? You're done. Okay? That is for a webinar, and this could be translated into any presentation, anything in almost any kind of business. But you may be saying, you know what? Yeah, that's cool, but I don't do webinar. I deal with CEOs of big companies, or I just bring high-end customers, quote unquote. I sell high-ticket items, and people want to talk to me on the phone. That's fair. By the way, this campaign here that I've used, that generated that revenue, I showed it to you. I sold products all the way up to $10,000. Okay? So, you want an appointment? I have an appointment generator sequence here for you. Same thing, you're going to have to send them an invitation, right? No one's going to just knock you on the door. It's possible, but unlikely. If they're on your list, you put them into the sequence. If they're not, you need to reach the CEO of the company. You can use, for instance, an executive sequence. What is that? Every major guy, every bigwig guy is going to have a gatekeeper, right? The secretary that's going to shuffle to the direct mail and this and that. So you can use LinkedIn, you can use FedEx, whatever it is, right, to reach directly. everything is going to lead to the same question. Was the appointment booked or not? If it was not booked, send it to a next campaign, if you really put them into a campaign. Again, not a one-off email, not a one-off package or contact. Did they book the appointment? If the answer yes, now you're going to put them into two parallel paths. You're going to first send them what's called an impact pack. An impact pack is a physical package, not something you send digitally. You're going to send them a digital package that tells them who you are, what's the process that they are experiencing, or they're going to experience with you, why they should talk to you and how you can help them. And you give them some big, good nugget about whatever it is that the problem that they need to have solved. At the same time, you put them into a prep sequence, which is going to have some of the stuff that the impact pack will have, but will eliminate a big problem. Most of the quote-unquote sales calls, the first 15 minutes is used for what? To establish your position, right? Who you are, what you do, how you're going to help them. How about if you prepare them beforehand? Give them some work to do. There's a questionnaire you need to fill out, return it to me. We're going to talk about X, Y, and Z, right? If the person doesn't do that, it's not a qualified customer. It's not a qualified lead. Do not waste your time talking to that person, okay? So, did the person attend the event or not, or the consultation, or whatever it is? If not, you send them to a reschedule sequence once. You don't keep like re-inviting them. If they did all of this, they're interested, right? But things can get in the way, right? Life would happen, and maybe they had to reschedule it. Did they book it again? If the answer is no, forget it. Send it to the next campaign. If they did, same question. Did they attend? If they don't attend, we're done. They're going to go to the next campaign. You're not going to re-invite them again. You have already re-invited them once. If they did attend, they talk to you on the phone. Did you close the sale, the deal, the service, the next conversation, whatever it is? If the answer is yes, good, we're done. Inbound process, whatever that is. If the answer is no, if your business has a sales pipeline or you have some sort of process, then you're going to put them through that, okay? That is a series of telephone calls alternating with emails, both of them, or whatever it is that you usually use. Did you close the sale, the deal, whatever? If the answer is yes, inbound campaign. If the answer is no, next campaign. Let's stop offering the same thing over and over, because this is not going to bring the result. Now, what is this? I know it sounds, this is pre-advanced, and it's hard to comprehend how you're going to make all of this automated, but we do automate that. And so what exactly am I doing? I'm getting people who comes into my quote-unquote marketing system, and I put them, for instance, through the webinar conversion machine. If that doesn't work, I put them to an appointment generator. If the appointment generator still didn't work, I'm going to put them into a cash register ringer, and then I'm going to just cycle them through that. What am I doing? I'm doing the same thing as Warren Buffett does with the money. I'm using lead compound. And you would think, man, you're putting people through a lot of stuff. Yes. People don't even realize they're going through all of this. Not that I'm bombarding them with one email every day about this. Okay? This is a process that takes sometimes a month, sometimes two, for someone to go from the beginning all the way to the end. And why is that important? Because it doesn't matter how talented you are, systems trump talent every single day. And when you do something like that, you're going to be able to then plug the holes in your bucket, and you're going to all of a sudden make your revenue and your results really skyrocket. Okay? So that's it, what I had to present. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have, so you guys know how to use the advanced marketing automation to grow your business.
So the holy grail these days of the patient experience movement is changing doctor and patient behavior. It's a core tenet of moving sick care to health care. Because as we both know, and most people in the room know, the reason why approximately a third of what we spend of the $3 trillion is waste and admin and non-value add service is the power of the doctor pen and the fact that patients are lousy consumers through no fault of their own. System issues.
We all are.
Pricing opacity, I mean, you name it.
We are
So, right,
lousy consumers.
We all buy emotionally and justify rationally. So that leads to the next hypothesis, which is if we're really going to change doctor and patient behavior using this dynamic response theory, then we have to be more personalized and understand not the nosology or the demographics. We have to understand the psychographics and the ethnographics. That is, how do people behave? And address those needs. That's what I hear you saying in this presentation. Now you're applying it to converting a prospect to a customer. So my question is, how much of this process can or should patient experience gurus use to change, and physician alignment gurus? Because in value-based care, the docs have to play by the value-based game and change their behavior. So how much of this can be used to change doctor and patient behavior?
Okay.
In terms of healthcare purchases?
It's totally applicable. I'll tell you why. The first thing that I'll tell you is the answer that I hear from you is, will this apply to me? It won't apply because X, okay? And that's not really the case. The reason for that is that, for instance, let's suppose you have your ENT practice, right? Someone comes to your site or calls your office and say, hey, I'd like to schedule an appointment with Dr. X in your practice. What are you going to do? You have a bunch of options. You say, yeah, you're going to, obviously the secretary needs to give that experience, not feel that she's being totally annoyed by the phone call, the stuff that we all know about it. So just normal, good customer service. But then what happened after that, right? By the way, I'm going to send you an email that's going to educate you about the problem X, whatever is the problem that the person is coming to, okay? For instance, my wife was being treated for globus, right? Pain in the neck problem, right? So did you think that we saw, I think, 2 ENTs. Did anyone put her through a webinar or a presentation to understand what was going on, what are the causes? No, she's freaking out. Do I have cancer? Is that something gone? Her mom has just died of breast cancer. She's literally freaking out. So that's the answer. You don't need to offer a bunch of stuff. You can just pre-indoctrinate them. Send them to your office. Who's doing that? Right? Someone comes and book the appointment. We can go to the next campaign for the appointment generator and send them the pack. Send them the impact pack. Oh, this is the doctor that I'm seeing. This is why it's important. This is what this guy did. It's a completely different approach than just, phone rings. Yeah, your appointment is day X. Goodbye. It's pretty cold and impersonal, right? So I don't see how, I help a lot of surgeons with this, and stuff that they have not, now that mainly, for instance, in the plastic surgery environment, there's a lot of people, they don't even charge consultations. I said, no, you're going to charge. And when they do all of this, it's not even a matter of discussion.
So, but let's kind of drill down a little. So you're a chest surgeon. So
yeah.
Somebody calls you and says, I got a patient with chest pain, I need you to see her. Long and the short of it is angioplasty, metal-coated versus non-metal-coated drug surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a behavior pattern. You have an armamentarium and a way of doing things. As do I.
Correct.
As does Mike. As does every doctor in the room.
Correct.
And we have a pattern of how we treat given patients certain ways with its so-called armamentarium. Unfortunately, a lot of that armamentarium is non-evidence-based.
Okay.
We do the wrong thing when we shouldn't, and we do, in other words, there's type 1, type 2 adoption errors. We don't do what we're supposed to do based on the evidence, and we do what we're not supposed to do based on the evidence. We make those two errors, and we keep making them. Translation, waste. Translation, cost. So the idea is to change doctor behavior. Now, using this model, if I'm an insurer, and I got a profile on you, and I'm trying to change your behavior, I see that you have a certain practice pattern for coronary artery disease that is falling outside the 2 standard deviations of the norms, as we can define however we want. How do I change your behavior can I change your behavior using this model?
Yeah, if I am understanding your question, you're saying, okay, how do I change the behavior of the physician or the provider?
Just like you're trying to change the behavior
education.
of the consumer.
That is one of the issues.
I think you're talking about using the tools within this rather than the system itself. But oh my God, you are so smart. I just am so impressed. You're exactly right. Why in the world do I sit there and spend 45 minutes explaining the same thing over and over when I could push a button, hand over an iPad and say, watch this, I'm going to be back and test you on it in 3 minutes.
I want to automate the system of doctor behavior change.
All of this could be automated. It could follow standard of care.
As I want to automate the 5% that spend 50% on spending.
What he's doing, which is brilliant, he's using these tools for the goal of getting patients into a physician practice or changing their behavior like that in some way, which will increase revenue. So he's just using those tools, but what you just said is very brilliant. Why aren't we doing more of that?
Well, let me tell you one thing, because this is not only applicable to the outside. This will happen inside the clinic. There is no waiting room. The waiting, obviously I don't have time to go over the whole process, but the waiting room, the waiting quote-unquote process is a 100% controlled environment. There is no Oprah on TV or O Magazine on top of the table. The patient signs in, here's the iPad, let's suppose came in for thyroid cancer. Okay, here's the iPad, please watch this video, or goes into a different environment, a room with a comfortable couch or whatever, and that person is going to watch that. That said, this is applicable to a bunch of different environments.